Y'all, how could Slim? Okay, that's how I felt after last night's episode. And if you want to know the truth about it, last night's episode of Feud, Capote versus the Swans made a G shed some real tears. If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is my sweet perspective where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. Back to talk about Feud, Capote versus the Swans, episode 4, It's Impossible. And you guys, this brought a lot of things full circle for me. It kind of cemented the ideas I had about some originally and actually shocked me, if I can be completely honest with you. So if you have not watched episode 4, don't watch this video because it's going to be spoilers filled. Because why? Spoilers is what I do. And right off the bat, Truman is, I guess kind of coming to himself and saying, I need to dry out. I need a facility at this point because me trying to get sober on my own is not doing it. We see the magnificent re-entry of Jack into his life, to try to level set everything. And they are going to take a trip abroad. He's planning it. He's like, you're drying up. It's going to be great. But again, this is all off the heels of another one of John's crazed, sessions where he just wants to beat Truman, beat him up, beat him down. He can't keep his hands to himself. And apparently, that's John's MO with anyone he's with. Let the daughter tell it, okay? Because we get to meet her this episode. I will say, if you're looking for a point of reference, because you know that this is based on true events, I definitely recommend the Capote tapes, I believe is the title of the documentary. And it is also on Hulu. I had to stop watching it initially because I felt like it was going to spoil some things, but I think we might be to a point now where we can actually watch it. But again, it's a documentary about Truman Capote, really good. And we actually get to meet young Kate Harington, right? His kind of step daughter, John's daughter, who enters into his life. So again, he is getting himself together and he decides that he wants to throw another black and white ball matching the masquerade that he had in 1966. And of course he wants his babe there, right? And so, he's talking to some of the girls. Well, one of the girls, I think, his Swans, and he's like, I miss you, but I really miss babe. That's my girl in a bag of pearls. Babe is meeting with the doctor and he's basically like, your husband, Bill, wants you to go, abroad and seek treatment for this. But honestly, it's not proven. Babe's like, look, how long do I have? And the doctor kind of levels with her. We don't really get the time frame, but we know that the end is inevitable. And so I think with that, and again, being faced with her own mortality, she's like, if Truman invites me, I'm going to go to his party. And Slim vehemently is against it. Of course, you don't need to have anything to do with him after everything he's done to you. And my thing is, Slim, Truman did a lot, but he ain't do that. Truman did a lot, but he has not done what you've done, Slim. I'm so disappointed in you. And so, the episode's progressing and Slim is on this campaign, honey. She's like, I am going to sue him for slander. Let me call the newspaper and cancel any thoughts of this ball. And it's just, ridiculous. So kind of fast forward through the episode. Truman goes to rehab. Everything's great. Jack is caring for him. Jack gets home to Truman's apartment. He's like, okay, are you ready to go? Blah, blah, blah. Truman in bed with John again. As drunk as a skunk as he wants to be. Okay. And it's just like, whatever. And so Jack, I wonder if this was his final heartbreak. Again, watch the documentary and you'll get more context to that relationship. But it was really kind of sad, whatever way you slice it. Truman held a place in Jack's life. I guess that was unmatched by anyone else that had been in his life up to that point. And so I think it's just devastating for him to keep getting his heart broken over and over and over again by little Truman. Cause come on. I mean, he had a little personality, but y'all, to me, it really wasn't giving all that these people are giving. And so again, Babe is talking to the girls, Slim is against it, but let's get to this tea, okay? So I'm minding my business, watching the show, thinking everything is, good. And we hear Slim talking to someone. We don't exactly know who it is initially, but child, she in there talking to Everwood Daddy, Bill Paley, Babe's Bill, honey, and they just done got Bucky naked. Slim has been smashing Everwood's daddy, and it's diabolical. It's sick, and now she's seeking some sort of sick penance by going after Truman because of the guilt that she feels. Okay, but quiet as it's kept, Babe knows. Everwood Daddy said, I've talked to my wife. I know my wife, and she knows. She ain't say it. She knows. She seems actually like she's happy for us. And my thing is, I mean, what else is she going to be at this point? Babe is at this point where she's like, let me make amends. Let me forgive. And she kind of schools the Swans about it. And she's like, look, it's amazing how forgiveness is the gift that we give ourselves. It's not really about the other person. Meanwhile, Truman's at home, still day drinking. Okay, I guess it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but he's clearly day drinking, and John's daughter appears. Knock, knock, knock. And she's like, look, I'm glad you took my daddy. Truman's like, he ain't here. She's like, good. I didn't want him to be here. I wanted to talk to you, Uncle True. Okay. And she's like, listen, he left us with nothing. We're broke. But we have peace, but I need to make some money. And so Truman's like, okay, well, you're, a beautiful girl. And apparently he ends up hooking her up with some modeling agencies and gets her on track, and she's making her money. So after all this is said and done, they are strolling down the boulevard, and he sees Babe from across the street. And instantly there is this moment of like, do I talk to her? Do I not talk to her? Do I just keep walking and pretend? Because Babe is window shopping. He crosses the street. She sees him, and it is the warmest embrace. It really was touching. It really was beautiful. You can tell that for all of Truman's vices and issues and internal struggles, because clearly he is a tortured soul, right? That's evident and clear. He had in whatever capacity he could love, he really did love Babe. Betrayal and all. And I know it's kind of like, well, that's such a juxtaposition, because how can you betray the ones you love? But I think his damage, in his self-loathing and the issues with his mom and being who he was in that time, I think it didn't have any choice but to kind of play out the way that it did. But I do see the genuine connection between the two. And it was, I mean, even her, she was like, he was the love of my life. And I don't know what that says. I think Truman was good to Babe. Again, it's just such a, how do you wrap your head around it? But that's what I'm loving about this show, because it is giving us an insight into duality, right? Into the people who you are, who you can be, but kind of the struggle that we all have to be our best selves, right? And so whether we submit to our basest self or our worst self, it's really, the choice is ours. You know what I mean? But I think seeing that moment, and it was almost like an unspoken forgiveness that she forgave him. And of course he yearned for that, but child, it was too much. This episode was good. If you have not watched it, go watch episode 4. Definitely worthwhile, and it's growing. I will say the one part that got me, though, I'm not finished yet. The one part that got me, honey, was when what's her name? Ridwell. What's her name? Callista Flockhart, y'all. Her character sits down and it's like, Slim, we know you smashing him. Leave Truman alone. Because at this point it's sick. And she's like, who else knows? And she's like, everybody. Everybody who loves you. But stop now, because it's messy. And I loved her calling her to the carpet on that and just making her stop. Because Slim, that was your own worked out issue. Babe's not even harboring that anymore. So why should you, especially knowing what you're doing? Slim, thou art a villain. And you can't be trusted. But you guys, that's it for my review of Feud episode 4. It's impossible. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Did you clutch your pearls the way that I did? Also, if you have not yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We are so close to the 1K goal. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.